Want to escape Jurassic World by going back to the future?
And Michael Myers returns to Universal Orlando.
This is episode 512 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. This is the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast. I am your host, Lee, and joining me today is Tracy.
Hello, everyone.
And Chris.
Hola.
And Michelle is still gallivanting around the Mediterranean, swimming
She's
with four-legged women.
1%ing right now.
Yeah.
If you listen, Nancy, I wasn't talking about you.
Oh. Wow.
That voice you heard exclaiming, "Oh," there is Michelle's replacement for this week, and that is Kelly.
Hi, friends.
So the reason I was pushing the unofficial part is because we did record with the official podcast last week.
We did.
It did happen. I didn't jinx it.
It was cool.
I'll be honest, with your delivery there, I thought you were hearkening back to the very dark early days because you were a little wooden then. It was really weird.
Oh my God. Right. So there is at least two people in the Producers Club at this point that are working their way back from episode 1. And
Why?
You poor, strange
Why?
Poor people.
Why do that to yourselves? Crazy.
I don't even think I'd want to go back and listen to those episodes again at this point.
I don't even listen to the ones in the last few weeks.
Wasn't Jeff like one of the first to just do that?
Oh, yeah.
We all know Jeff's crazy, though.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's the reason why
Yeah.
he did it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, when I found you guys during COVID, I went back far, but definitely not that far. When your news started to be things like there's a new Transformers ride coming 5 years from now, I kind of gave up then. So
Wow.
You should definitely give the first few episodes a
No,
try.
don't.
And this is for anybody listening. If you've never heard the beginning of this podcast, go do it. It's
Awful.
it's a unique experience, to say the least.
The only reason I enjoy the fact that they're still there is so I can see how far we've come since those dark, dark days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway,
This may be a monthly thing. We'll see.
we will begin this episode, like we always do, with some little things from Seth.
This is Seth Kabursky, co-author of the Unofficial Guides. I hope you're hungry for news because we've got a lot of little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort to talk about. Last time it was all about Jurassic World Dominion coming out, and while you can still find new Jurassic World merchandise and even a Jurassic World donut over at Voodoo Donut, Universal's now moved on to the Minions Rise of Gru, which is opening up on July 1st. You'll find Minions decorating the entrance arch at Universal Studios Florida. A new song and video has been added to the exit of the Despicable Me attraction. You can find photo ops and a preview of the Minions film around Music Plaza. There's an adorable new $38 refillable popcorn bucket shaped like a car full of Minions available. And Minion decorations have been added to the construction walls surrounding Monsters Cafe, fueling rumors that that will also become a Minions-themed restaurant. In non-Minion related news, the pathway from Hollywood over towards Kid Zone is still closed off, meaning guests still have to go through the Central Park area, but Fievel over in Kid Zone is now reopened. The crepe stand near Central Park was also closed for a brief refurbishment, but it is now back open again. In other food news at Universal Studios Florida, the Arepas truck is back at Music Plaza. You can get arepas topped with meat or cheese, or also get roasted street corn. Finnegan's has made some minor updates to their menu, including swapping their former pork loin for a pork shoulder and adding a couple new desserts. And Bumblebee Man tacos have sadly raised their prices up to $12. Most interesting new thing I noticed in food at Universal Studios Florida, in the shaded area along the waterfront across from Mel's Drive-In, they are now serving a bagged lunch featuring a Cuban sandwich, quesitos, a bag of chips, all for one price. That looks to be part of the summer offerings around the park. Speaking of summer, temperatures have been incredibly hot inside the parks recently, with the heat index well over 100 degrees, so make sure you wear a hat, sunscreen, and stay hydrated. And if you're dreaming about fall already, you can find Halloween preview merchandise inside the shop at the exit of the Bourne attraction. I am sad to report, though, that the Williams of Hollywood prop shop across the street from the Bourne attraction is going to be closing permanently as of June 26th. There's no official word about what that space might become, though I am hearing some whispers that it could possibly become a preview center for the upcoming Epic universe. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. All right, now it's time to hop over to Islands of Adventure. I wasn't able to do that using the Hogwarts Express because it's still closed on my last visit, but it will have reopened on June 19th by the time you hear this. When you are able to ride the Hogwarts Express again, you might notice a change at platform 9 3/4. I had mentioned some time ago that the Hedwig Owl animatronic inside a cage on the platform had been removed, and now we know why. Some animal rights groups put out press releases advertising that the caged animatronic has been replaced with a new animatronic outside of a cage, emphasizing that owls, whether they are fantasy or real life, do not belong in cages. And since I had to take the front exit out of Universal Studios Florida, I noticed that the physical turnstiles have been removed, presumably replaced with some sort of electronic sensor, but you no longer have to push through the turning turnstile in order to exit the park, which should speed movement when large groups of people exit at the end of the night. For right now, the exit turnstiles at Islands of Adventure are still in place. Also at Islands of Adventure, Dudley Do-Right's Ripsaw Falls was briefly closed and drained, but it was back up and running again within days the next time that I visited. And I'm also happy to say that the lobby of the Spider-Man attraction is once again being used for guests. For a while it was closed and they were rerouting everyone in a rather odd way around the back of the building, but now it looks like the front lobby is back in operation. Something that was not in operation on my last visit was Pizza Predatoria. Despite the park being pretty busy with crowds at most of the restaurants, Pizza Predatoria in Jurassic Park seems to be operating under limited hours, and the menu that they displayed is also limited. They've eliminated some of their sandwich options and are basically down to meat or cheese pizza or a salad. Around the corner in Hogsmeade, there's a new item available in Honeydukes. The chocolate frogs, which were previously available only in a terrible waxy milk chocolate form, are now also available as dark chocolate.
Oh, yes.
I picked up 3 of them for $33, and you can use your annual pass discount on that. They come with the lenticular wizard trading cards in the same box as before. And while it still isn't the world's greatest chocolate, it is a big improvement over the milk chocolate version. If you're still hungry for more, I'm happy to report that it looks like the Polynesian Luau over at the Royal Pacific Resort is reopening as of Saturday, June 25th. That's great news for all the folks who work there. I really enjoy that show and will be happy to see it back. And last but certainly not least, we recently had official confirmation from Universal that they are building a great movie escape room in City Walk to replace the Groove. And just the other day, a new marquee has been put up over the old Groove. It's got a gold and dark blue color scheme with a logo in the shape of a film reel made out of puzzle pieces. And it makes me even more excited for Universal's first escape room to open up in the not too distant future. All right, that'll take care of it for this time. You can find me online at theunofficialguides.com, where you can pick up a copy of The Unofficial Guide to Universal Orlando, or follow me on social media at the UG Series on Twitter or at The Unofficial Guides on Instagram. And I'll be back in a couple more weeks with another look at the little things that are new around the Universal Orlando Resort.
Right, let's hold off on that last one because I want to get into that a little bit more later. But animal rights, animal rights, people, please, it's a...
I was going to say something.
Oh, wow.
I mean, were there that many people putting their owls in cages now because of that animatronic, or am I just misreading this? And I'm all for animal rights.
Of course,
Don't get me wrong. But
if you're complaining
Come
about an animatronic one at a theme park, it's like you need to reevaluate your priorities.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
So strange.
At least he's free now, you know?
She's free.
She, yeah.
She is a she, isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
Edwig? Okay. See, yeah, I know my Harry Potter stuff.
Apparently not. Yeah, that was a big shock, the prop shop closing. So I saw the rumours for it last week, and it seems like it's pretty nailed on. Seth generally doesn't deal in rumours. If he's saying something's happening, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's a huge bummer.
I mean, I enjoy going in there every time I go in, but I've never bought anything from there. And also I'm sure people do buy things from there, but every time I've gone in, it's kind of everyone walks in, does a lap and goes back out. I'm sure there was not I'm guessing there wasn't too much profit margin there. I don't know.
But it's like you said to me, wasn't it, Chris? It like takes nothing to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like so much a profit thing. Whereas, you know, there's one guy in there most of the time, and then we always went in like you said, you always go in at least once. I would always look for some kind of new piece or something there, preferably affordable. But then again, most of it that I wanted was not. But yeah, it's a shame losing this. The only upside is I hope that rumor is true that it's a preview center. Just A, because I want to see anything I can about Epic Universe, and B, it's almost a nostalgic thing, at least for me. I remember going to the Universal Studios preview center when Islands was coming out when I was younger. So it's kind of that, you know, memory for me, making it like look forward to the future of what the parks are going to bring. So I'll give them that, and then just put the prop shop right back after they're done opening Epic Universe.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think something along the levels of the tribute store to like Epic Universe coming would be awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
And who knows? They may move props to another area of the park where you can still buy things that you would have bought in the prop shop. It's just not called the prop shop anymore.
Yeah, they could push it in the Legacy.
That's
the
what I said,
Legacy
wasn't
store.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's plenty of options for them to do it. It's just like you say, it's like we've been in it a couple of times and we've only bought one thing and it's still just sat in a
Could
carrier
have bought
bag.
so much more, but Lee just goes, nope.
That's
nope,
it. A lot of the
nope.
stuff that you want is expensive. Like I'd
won't
love
fit the suitcase.
something Halloween Horror Nights, even if it was just like a drinks poster, you know, those like food and drinks with the arrows on, just something like that, just something. But it's always a massively expensive.
Sometimes would buy those little trading cards, like the vintage ones.
Yes.
So they'll have like E.T. or Jaws or whatever. And it always has like the warning, or the guy always tells you like, don't eat the gum that's inside.
Yeah.
You mean the ones that you got for us, Chris, that you bought before you were on the show? And then gave us like when you were on the show. So you had them for about 3 years.
On the show for a while, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then I saw you. You know, it was much cheaper meeting you in person than shipping it over to you. Like I have stuff here in the house for you, by the way, from Horror Nights a year ago.
Wow.
Well, I'm all excited now. Yeah. By the way, 11...
Beetlejuice that's signed?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Michelle had that.
Yeah. I have it along with some other stuff.
I forgot about that.
I figured I'm going to see you guys soon anyway, so I'll just hold on to it.
Bloody better be.
Let's just put it out there. 11 weeks. As of the time this podcast comes out today, 11 weeks today. And
that sounds like no time at all.
And
I know.
COVID testing is a thing of the past, which makes our trip so much less stressful.
I need to go clothes shopping. I do not have any summer clothes.
No, I mean, I'm actually wearing shorts for the first time in this year, I think, right now.
I haven't got any.
Anyway, we're not talking about that. What else have we got? Turnstiles getting removed. I'm surprised. I think we talked about this 18 months ago during the sort of opening after the lockdown of contact points, and I'm surprised it's took them this long to remove those.
Yeah, I mean, it just creates such a backlog there at the end of the day, especially at park close of, you know, because then you've got the strollers can only go through certain ones. And so then there's people trying to cut across foot traffic with strollers. And it's just such a mess right there at the end of the day, especially if, like I said, you leave right at park close, it takes you, 10 minutes to walk there from the back of the park and then 10 minutes to actually get out those last 30 feet.
Yeah. Like you come out of Horror Nights. Horror Nights is it's the only time I ever remember leaving the parks is leaving Horror Nights for some reason. I have no recollection of ever leaving Universal Studios Florida during a normal park day. Only at like 1 o'clock in the morning when I get collared by the survey people and everyone who I'm with is like, oh my God. Like tapping the wrists, come on. And I'm like, no, I need to do these surveys at 1 o'clock in the morning. Or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I think the last time we did one.
Maybe, yeah.
You're such a good universal citizen.
Hey, you don't get what you want if you don't tell them what you want.
Very true.
This is why we have this podcast.
That doesn't work like that. I tell you what I want all the time and I still don't get it.
So let's have a look. What things have we talked about on here that
just
we've
ignores
got?
me.
Earl the Squirrel, meet
You have
and
to
greet
send him a
character.
survey, Tracy.
Yeah, I'll have to do that.
I did find it hilarious that the day after we stopped at Rate My Crepe, Central Park Crepes had walls up around it. They were like, oh, well, there's no point doing it now because no one's going to come because they can't rate them for a podcast.
Yep, they're done.
Well, I commented that it was all the vegans who were mad that
It might
the
have
savory
been.
crepe got
Yep.
taken away.
Yeah.
They revolted overnight and they had to close the crepe shop.
I was hoping that they were going to expand it or something, but it's obviously just to do with that pavement refurb around that area, which is such a shame because it needs to be bigger.
That's definitely what she said.
So
Hey.
apparently, right, like unless anyone else has got any of this other stuff they want to bring up, the Minions Rise of Gru, apparently, I'm not going to name the website. People are complaining. Apparently, people are complaining too much Minions. I love Minions.
They're fun.
But
I'm cool with it.
as
As
it,
long as it's
I mean-
done well, it's fine.
Yeah, and it's pretty contained to one section, I feel like.
and is it a section that before Minions came in that you frequented a lot anyway?
We're talking about the Monsters Cafe.
No, I'm talking about that whole front area in general. So Despicable Me, whatever's going to replace Shrek 4D, that whole sort of area there that's obviously going to become Minion Central.
Well, I'd go at least twice a day.
Yeah, on the way
In and
the way
out.
That's probably that's probably not strictly true because I think we
No, I know,
generally
you
leave
do.
through Hollywood. To be fair,
That's true.
I love Minions. Like every time I watch the trailer for that new film, I cannot. I'm
Giggles
sat
away.
the only one in the cinema watching Jurassic World at the weekend, like the grown man giggling at the Minions film. It's hilarious. I don't know what it is about them. I just find them so funny.
I'm with you. I think they're just generally funny, just talking nonsense.
Yeah, I love them too, so I'm not gonna gonna hate more Minions.
And it's not like they took away a ride that was a fan favorite.
Exactly.
So, I think it'll be fine if they brought something more Minions and a cool ride or experience something, whatever they're going to put there eventually. It'll be fun.
It's kids' rides at the front of the park that generally we're not going to do anyway because we're not kids and we don't have kids with us.
Still got to try them.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. It's like people complaining. It's like if you don't like it, just walk through. There's plenty more stuff in the park for you to do.
Yeah. It's Fast and Furious all the way in the back.
Exactly. Don't pull that face. You're going to have to do it at least once more for our oldest.
It's going to cost you.
It's not going to cost. Well, it cost me about $4,500 at the moment to take you over there in the first place. Anyway, moving on. The big thing as part of the little things, Christopher.
Yeah, so Seth mentioned in Little Things, but it's kind of a big thing, and that thing is that Universal Orlando Resort will soon debut Universal's Great Movie Escape, featuring 2 next-level escape rooms that pack the innovative storytelling and theming the destination is known for into can't-miss experiences, inspired by Universal Pictures and Amblin Entertainment's blockbuster films Jurassic World and Back to the Future. Concepted and designed by the same creative masterminds responsible for the wildly immersive haunts of Halloween Horror Nights. Yes. Universal's Great Movie Escape will bring 2 distinct and extraordinary escape adventures to the heart of Universal City Walk through interactive state-of-the-art missions, captivating storytelling, and intricately detailed sets. Guests will be swept into the dinosaur adventures of Jurassic World or the time-traveling chaos of Back to the Future as they solve their way through a multi-sensory experience like no other. The newest edition of City Walk will open later this year, and we are excited for tickets to go on sale to find out how much it will be.
See, that's
Guesses, anybody?
See, I wanted to wait until Michelle comes back, but she can off. Right, throw out some figures. Right, well, Kelly, you can join in. How much do you think this will be per person?
Gosh, I mean, the ones I've done here, I've done a couple different ones, and they've all been between like, I'd say $25 and $35 a person. I would guess it would start at like 50 for this, but I would easily pay $50 for this, and I'm pretty tight-fisted with my own budget. So, but I love escape rooms, so I would easily pay that.
Yeah, I think 50 sounds about the start
50,
point.
I think that's a magic number. Maybe a little cheaper for a younger person going in there.
I think it depends. See, it'll be tiered pricing, so it'll be more expensive on a night, I would have thought, when most people have come out on a weekend. Like during the day, they'll probably do discounts. Like, because if you compare it to something like the Hollywood Drive-In mini golf, where they do, it's like if
they have tiered pricing.
Okay, I don't think they have tiered pricing, but they have discounts available for it. So if you do one, I think if you pay for a round, you get a scratch card at the end of it, and you can win like half price second round or a free game next hour, whatever it might be. There's definitely opportunities to get in cheaper later on. Like, I wonder if they'll do a discount for like pay for one and get the other one half price or something like that. Because you're
or if you like book the whole room, then you get like a discount.
Yeah, I wonder. See, I'm already thinking about us being over there this year and tackling it as a team, a podcast team. I wonder what the minimum amount of people will be to go in it, or whether it's like a non-private RIP tour where if there's only two of you, they'll chuck you in with a group of other people. Which, no thanks, I don't want to do that. But I can imagine they'll want to keep the throughput as high as possible. Therefore, it will be interesting to see how they deal with how many people they'll be wanting to go through it.
Yeah, definitely expect this to be pretty slammed at least for the remainder of the year whenever it opens up. Maybe they can add an add-on where you pay extra and you get a Universal Creative to be in the room with you.
Yeah, I'm actually friends with a couple of the guys who worked on it because they've been posted about it all week, and I was like, I didn't realize. Of course I am. But just imagine something on the level of Halloween Horror Nights and Escape Room at City Walk. It's just...
Yeah. That's the big draw
like
for
think
me.
If you think about like the Back to the Future one, like would you walk into like Doc Brown's garage and have all the clocks and all the puzzles that you could do with any of that stuff? Like that's immediately where my mind went when I heard Back to the Future Escape Room is like trying to set the clocks and make everything work and all the tinkering inventions and things like that in there.
Yeah. The theming is going to be what's going to really kind of push it to the next level, because
I agree.
At least in my experience, and I think I said this before, or maybe we were talking about it, but like the escape rooms I've done, and I haven't done many, but a lot of them are pretty tiny rooms and little rundown, right? Looks like they went to a thrift store and just got random things and bolted it down to here and there. Still fun, right? You can still have fun doing that, but inside of a room that is designed and themed out by a company that you would call top tier in reference to theming, right? That alone is just something to look out for. Like, screw the escape. I'm just going to go in there and look at everything.
Yeah.
I want to stay. I don't want to escape this room. I actually want to live here.
It's just that. It's that thing of like the popularity of this thing, even if it is expensive. It like getting into it's going to be a nightmare for that first 6 months, because all the annual pass holders want to do it, and then like people who are coming over, like us, who are coming over for like the first trip in a while, will be desperate to do it. It's I think I said to Tracy when they announced this, I know we've talked about it on here because it's kind of been a rumor since it came out in those surveys, probably a year or more. I think they started sort of talking about it in the surveys along with that SNL, like
Comedy Club.
Yeah, which still would be awesome as well.
I would love that. Yeah.
And then for it to actually be announced, I turned to Tracy now, and it's funny. Like the first few trips we did come into Universal, City Walk it didn't exist. It was just a thoroughfare of getting to Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios Florida. And it wasn't until probably 2013, our fourth trip, where we saw it for what it was when the mini golf opened, and you start to see how much there is in there to do for it to be a destination in its own right. Now you add in an escape room. If you go back and look at how much City Walk has changed in the last 10 years, it's crazy, because most of the restaurants have changed now. And then you add in the mini golf. Most of the shops have gone. They've got rid of those crappy shops that no one really cared about. And it's become a real destination now where you could spend... we did. We spent like 6 hours there one night, just having something to eat, having a wander around, playing mini golf. You add in the escape room. If you did both of them, there's 2 hours.
Easily.
As long as you make sure you get your money's worth. You don't want to be one of those cocky ones that finishes in 10 minutes and you go, well, you've just paid $200 for the 4 of you to finish it in 10 minutes. Well done. Oh, yeah.
That would be Jillian.
Because that's the awkward thing. This is something. So we did one a few weeks ago, right? So this is what I can't get. How do you stagger people going through when you don't know how long it's going to take people to go through it? Because you want to maximize the amount of groups going through. So ordinarily, you've got to book every hour, but then someone might finish it in 10 minutes. So then what do? You've got 50 minutes of wasted time just sat around doing nothing. This is what would kill me if I owned an escape room. But like, all that wasted time.
No, but that's the way they schedule, right? That's the way they're doing their revenue or their, how they're making their money. They're saying, okay, for this hour time slot, you get that no matter what.
You pay by the hour.
And even if you finish, maybe you just want to hang around and look in the room, take some pictures, and just, embrace the detail, right? Because when you're in there, you're trying to solve this puzzle. So your brain's not really appreciating everything. You're just trying to figure this thing out. But after you finish early, you can still wander around, take some pictures until your time's over. And then, next group comes in.
So you do an Instagram video of, we've got the key, this is the way out, it's 20 minutes gone, I'm going to sit here for the next 40 minutes and just look around. I'm just letting you know we finished it in 20 minutes though.
Yeah.
You already know when that opens up, there's going to be groups of people completely dressed up for the room. So you'll have a Doc Brown, you'll have a Mar, you'll have everybody, a Biff showing up in there doing the escape room. It's going to be Instagram heavy, for sure.
It is.
I just hope there aren't people going to be doing blog posts and stuff of how to solve it.
There will be. Come on.
Like, I
Yes,
don't
You
want
can avoid that, though. You can avoid it.
to a
It's not
certain
like an
extent.
escape room. Well, no, you'd have to read the article, right? Because an escape room is a sequence or a series of events.
Yeah.
I can't just tell you, the key's in this box. Yeah, figure out how to get to that box. So even if you read something like that, I think you can't really spoil the entire room. But
There's at least a little bit of variability with some things, whether it's, the code or the key changes every once in a while, or like there's little things that they could do to make it so that it's not exactly the same thing every time without having to go really far out of their way. And some of the escape rooms that I've done, your like whole session is multiple rooms, but you only have a certain amount of time to get from one room to another before they like give you a hint to get from that. So it might be like a staggered like 20-minute start time of like this group's going to start right at 3:00 and that group has to get into the second room by 3:20, or there's some like automatic switch or something that will get you into that second room. So the whole group moves on. Then another group can come in behind them into the next room. And some of them that I've been to have like, a bar that you could get drinks at afterwards or things like that that could keep you there spending money for longer than just the original experience.
To be fair, it's surrounded by that. It's called City Walk.
Well, you know what I mean.
I know. Chris, did you do the repository?
no, I never got to do that.
Because obviously
Wanted
this
to.
is like the next step for the repository.
Yeah.
Like they dabbled in it with that at Horror Nights and now it's like full blown.
You have the lanyard from it. I bought it in the prop shop, but no, never did it.
Oh, what a tie-in.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's hopefully it'll be open for at least our second trip, and we can get in. Universal, if you're listening, some free tickets to review it for the podcast would be awesome. Both of them.
Yeah, and we won't tell them how to do it. So
No, we'll just spoiler free.
This is like assuming that we do it.
Oh, we'll be doing it.
No, I mean
Yeah.
that we
Oh, get out.
that we escape.
You might not. You have to be a team member for the rest of your life for no pay.
Could do that.
you would do it.
I don't know. It depends where they put you on Fast and Furious. I'm incredibly
grim.
excited.
Yeah, I'm
It's
looking
just
forward to
another
this.
fantastic addition to Universal Orlando.
Yep, absolutely. It definitely gives you something to do there, especially for people on longer trips
Yep.
that are looking for some variety. Yeah, that's hitting the spot.
Yeah, for how much fun I've had at these like local $25 ones, I cannot imagine
Yeah,
how amazing this one will be.
for definite. Right. So if you were going for a trip and you could only do one, Tracy, which one?
Jurassic World.
Chris,
Back to the Future.
Kelly.
Jurassic World, probably.
Yeah, I'd probably go Jurassic
Ugh.
World.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs. That's all I need to say.
I think
Yeah, I don't know.
But I really want to do them both.
I'm just going back to the nostalgic
exactly.
of the ride itself. So maybe it'll make me feel like I'm back on the ride. Maybe the ending of that room is turning on a DeLorean. Who knows?
I wish they'd done a
You
Ghostbusters
got to find the key
one.
to the DeLorean.
I wish they'd done a Ghostbusters one.
Wait.
I would have loved a Ghostbusters one.
Wait. What if you have to do the Back to the Future one first, to then end up in Jurassic World?
Yes.
You actually do
yes.
time travel to the real
Oh.
Cretaceous period.
No, I don't think that. I'm not doing it then.
Or Jurassic period as it's supposed to be, but
Well, there was a dinosaur on that ride, remember?
There
Yeah.
was, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to go back to what you just said, Lee, who knows if they're using all the space right now?
That's true.
Right? There could be another spot or two for another expansion. See how well this does. Okay, this is doing really well. Let's build out another one, or let's release these while we're working on the other ones. Or years down the road, we retheme it to something else. I mean, that's the beauty of
Yeah.
escape rooms. You can change them around as much as you need to.
Just do a Horror Nights
Yep.
one. Just do a year-round Horror
Yeah.
Nights one.
That would be
I
cool.
would pay
Escaping
for
from
that.
Carrie.
It'd be awesome. Ah, cool. Right, Tracy. Producer Club birthdays, please.
We have a nice chunk of birthdays this time, don't we? Yes. So we are going to start off. June 21st. Isn't that today?
It is today.
That is today. Today.
The show's released, yes.
It is the lovely Katie McNeil's birthday. Happy birthday, Katie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And then tomorrow, on the 22nd, it is the great Charlie Casey's birthday. Happy birthday, Charlie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're going to follow that up on the 25th with the amazing Leslie Kish's birthday. Happy birthday, Leslie.
Happy birthday.
Woohoo.
Happy birthday.
I like it when there's loads like this, just trying to, Tracy, to come up with superlatives for every person.
Superlatives. And then on the 27th of June, we have the spectacular, the one and only Brian Jennings' birthday. Happy birthday, Brian.
Brian, make sure you have a crepe for your birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian.
That's a form of cake. It's a pancake.
Crepe.
Yes,
It's true.
it is. And then the day after that, the 28th, we have the top-notch Adam Pagan's birthday. Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
I'm
birthday.
waiting to see what she comes up for the next one.
Oh, wow. On June the 30th, we have the very special Her Royal Majesty,
Oh my God.
one of my
Milady.
favourite people, my sister. It is the amazing, the gorgeous, the beautiful Alexa Zavala's birthday. Happy birthday, Alexa!
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños, babe.
There you go.
Still seems weird seeing, like, not Lorero. It's odd.
I know.
Yeah, well, legally, it's still Lorero. It's in the process.
Okay.
But it is weird hearing that and reading it.
Yeah. And finally, to wrap up this birthday bash on July the 1st into the next month, we have, let's think of a really good one here. Oh, it's difficult now. I've put pressure on myself. We have the super fantastic, awesome Jezebel Yeb's birthday. Happy birthday, Jezebel!
Happy birthday!
Woohoo!
Happy
member.
birthday.
A new
Welcome to
member.
the cult. Not a cult, I mean. Happy birthday, everybody. Lots of cake, lots of love, and lots of presents are wished for you.
Yes. Right. Moving on. As you know, 2 weeks ago, oh my God,
I can't wait to
we
hear
finished our listener debate for the last one, which was Rate My Crepe, where we asked everyone to go to Central Park Crepes and try whatever ones you wanted, even the ones that aren't there anymore, and rate them out of 5, 1 being ugh, and 5 being
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, carrying it on, we are beginning our new one this week, and we actually got a clip in. I kind of hinted at it 2 weeks ago, but this one, we are asking you guys to go to Bend the Bow in City Walk, so you don't even have to enter the theme parks to be a part of this one. I think there's 8 options on the menu at this point, so the same thing goes as it was with Rate My Crepe. Go and try some bows, rate them all out of 1 and 5, and send them in for our new listener debate, which is Bow Pick a Bow Bow.
This may be one of our greatest.
And our first clip
At least titles.
I'm a little proud of that one. I'm going to
comes
admit it.
from
Yes,
the
good job.
wonderful Christopher Izell.
Greetings, UUOP fan. This is Chris Ezel, aka Dr. Evil, reporting in from the shores of City Walk. Hopefully for the first Bow Pick a Bow Bow. So I went over on my lunch and I just did 2 bow this time. I got the pork belly and kimchi fried chicken. Starting with the pork belly, there was some good flavor there, and the sauce was way saucier than I expected. However, there really wasn't as much weight to the flavor. It was extremely light. I did not expect that. If that's your thing, fantastic. For me, I like to have my flavors kick back a little bit, and I just didn't feel like the heft was there. So if I'm allowed half points, I will say 3.5 out of 5. If not, we'll say 3. Now, the kimchi fried chicken, on the other hand, that was the star of the 2. The fried chicken was fried up very well, nice and saucy. It had the potential to almost be too heavy. However, the cucumbers, scallions, the gochujang sauce and everything really leveled it out and made it like that perfect balance of packing a punch of flavor but still being refreshing. So again, if I'm allowed the half points, 4.5 out of 5. If not, we'll say 4. While I will say the bows are smaller than I would have expected for the price, I haven't eaten anything all day, and just with those 2 bow buns, I feel relatively full. So if you are trying to follow those money-saving tips, this is the way to go. Anywho, this is Chris Ezel signing out. Until next time, see you later.
I'm desperate to get to Bend the Bow. Just for everyone listening, when you do get involved, yes, half points are allowed.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. Of course, Chris, he's like my theme park husband. Yeah. Of course he goes and gets the Korean options.
Of course.
'Cause we are united in our love of Korea. Oh, that kimchi fried chicken one though. Need that so much.
Have either of you two been to Bend the Bow yet?
I have not.
No. Chris?
You do remember you sent me out there when they opened, right?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
God,
You did. And we even did a live thing in the group while we ate them.
You
I
dirty
remembered
bugger.
that, and I thought that I made that up when Lee asked if you'd been.
No. This is the first time that he doesn't remember something. I love it.
Do you realize how much of this podcast I deal with, and you think expect me to remember all of it? All I remember is Nicole being on that episode, and she went and tried them all, but not for us, for herself. I don't know.
No, I went through probably 75% of that menu.
Okay.
So, I
I'm
mean,
gonna go
we
back.
liked it. Alexa ate some of them that I don't eat because I don't do like seafood.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they're allowing, because I think back then, I'm kind of a picky eater. So shout out to all my picky eaters out there. But they didn't allow us to take anything off
Ooh.
And I don't know if they allow it now or if it was just like a thing that they were doing when they first opened. But
That's interesting because I remember having that conversation with Nicole when she went, and it was around the time it was open, and she went back and asked, and as far as she was made aware of, that if there was something you didn't want on it, you could just request it not on.
Okay.
Well,
cool, good.
I mean, that would make a big difference about whether or not, like with my food allergies, that's a place that I would consider going, because that's why I can't have any of the butterbeer, because they won't sell it without the topping on it, and the top, all of them contain dairy.
That sucks.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh my God, Kelly, why do
it's
you go?
It's literally added afterwards.
Pumpkin juice.
You can't get it in bottles anymore.
I like the draft one better.
Oh my God.
I'm salty about that.
Anyway, if you would like to get involved in our new debate, a bow, pick a bow, bow. I need to get someone to do like a proper guitar-y bow, pick a bow, bow. Tracy, how can people do that?
So I'm just, okay. As Lee said earlier, this is the same as Rate My Crepe. You just try some bows from Bend the Bow and you record yourself. Well, you could record eating if you want. We could turn it into a mukbang. You record us, tell us your rating, what you think of it. 1 being, and 5 being,
oh, hell yeah.
And then you send it to us at podcast@uuopodcast.com or via all the socials. Just, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Whatever, DM.
Have we got Reddit?
No.
What else?
No,
is it?
we haven't got TikTok either.
No,
I don't understand
that's
it enough
dangerous.
yet. We haven't got OnlyFans either.
Well,
I mean, Chris might
I
have.
wouldn't say that.
What does that mean? Moving on. I had to give this one to Kelly, the person that's never been to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yeah, thanks.
But Kelly, we have some news.
We do indeed. We have our second house reveal for HHN 31 in Orlando, and John Carpenter's classic 1978 slasher film Halloween is returning to stock Halloween Horror Nights in a terrifying haunted house where guests come face to face with the merciless Michael Myers. This year's harrowing experience will transport guests to the infamous town of Haddonfield, Illinois on Halloween night, when Michael Myers first donned the notorious mask to embark on his brutal rampage. As guests make their way through his dilapidated home and iconic scenes from the movie, they'll narrowly dodge attacks from the knife-wielding Myers as he stalks their every move. Myers is the embodiment of pure evil who unleashes terror at every turn, and guests will quickly realize that he will stop at nothing and no one to take his bloody revenge. Anyone concerned that this will be the same as the Halloween house that was present at 2014 can rest easy, as at a panel at Spooky Empire by the Halloween Horror Nights team, they revealed that this is an all-new take on the original movie.
Because I know, Chris, you'll have done the original house back in 2014, yes?
Yeah.
And then Halloween 4, and then didn't they do one like... So I've seen a lot of posts of people being like, not more Michael Myers.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I still love Halloween.
Well, we've never done Halloween before, so for us, it's fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling that fatigue?
I'm looking forward to going through it, just to go through it because it's a house and I can appreciate it. But yeah, I can understand the not repetition, but just people being kind of exhausted by it. Makes sense.
Walking Dead syndrome.
I think at least with this, you're getting the characters, whereas the biggest issue with the Walking Dead houses was it didn't have any of the characters from the Walking Dead in it, other than zombies, like Zombie A and Zombie B. Like, you didn't have Rick or Daryl or anyone like that. And it's like, what is this? It's like doing a Stranger Things house without the kids.
Mm-hmm.
That would be weird.
Because going off the back of this, I know... they did on that panel. He also showed some images from the Monsters Legends Collide house, which, believe it or not, I've actually posted all over our social media and not actually watched, because Maddie from Russia Fear was there and she got video of it and sent it over to me, and I just posted it. And there you go. I haven't looked at it, but everyone seems quite excited about that. Good discussion, guys.
If I had something to add, I would. But
You can see the excitement I have for Halloween.
I'm looking forward to it. I like Halloween. I think the music's iconic. And again, that hook for doing Marathon of Mayhem this year.
Yeah.
You know, I think last year, Marathon of Mayhem didn't necessarily have that hook because it didn't really have any iconic music. And we've had this conversation before. You look at that first year they did it, you had Swan Lake and Ghostbusters and Killer Clowns and Stranger Things. It had that nostalgic hook to build that show around, whereas last year it didn't. So straight away off the bat of this, you've got one of the most iconic pieces of music in horror film history.
Yeah.
To hook that in. And like, it's that I love that when he like pounces out on.
Doesn't sound quite like that.
You know what I mean? People know what I mean. I'm excited for it.
Good job.
He took out of his.
Wait, can you make that sound again? I think I missed it the first time.
No, I'm not doing it. And I'm going to edit it out so it won't be there either. It's funny, actually.
That's a good point, though. That having that music there will definitely add to the ambiance of, I think, the entire event. Because, you know, they use that everywhere.
Yeah. I do find it strange that they're doing a repeat house that isn't a repeat house.
What, you mean like it's an all-new take?
Yeah, because I don't think they've ever done that before. The only time they've ever done the same house twice was American Werewolf. As far as I'm aware, they've never done the same IP twice, but done like a different take on it. So I think this is actually a first for Horror Nights. All right.
Well, I don't know about for us, but like, isn't Chucky in Hollywood like almost every year?
Yeah, but I'm talking about Orlando.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I'm talking like modern Horror Nights, because didn't they do People Under the Stairs for the first couple of years, actually thinking about it? But yeah, once you get into, because you think like the first year Tracy and I came, 2004, there was no IPs. Once they started properly getting into doing IPs, they've never done the same movie or TV series twice, like based on the same thing. So it's strange why they've chose to do it this year. Are they running out of ideas? Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get into it too much. We'll wait 2 weeks for Michelle to get back, because the new spec map from Horror Nights Nightmares is out.
Yes, it is.
Spoilers, I'm a little underwhelmed by it at this point.
I'm just going, I don't care.
Yeah. I'd somewhat agree with you on that.
It doesn't have that. There's usually one house every year that you're like, that's the one I'm looking forward to. That is the one that I expect to be top of my list.
Yeah, with the long queues.
And there isn't really one in there, to be fair.
If that spec map's right. Which I know they generally are, no.
They're usually pretty
spot on, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and that's what worries me.
The first two versions of that, you know, Lee, I think we were talking that, like, I am just not a horror person, and have never wanted to spend the money on Horror Nights if it was going to just be miserable for me the whole night. But I've started to really think that, like, okay, maybe this might be the year. I'm going down in September for my birthday this year. Like, I don't know. And versions 1 and 2, I was like, there might be things on there that changed my mind, because I'm like you know how they talk about the fight or flight response. I have the little known third response, which is fall down.
Yep.
Like, that's when I get scared. It's like the goats that when you scare them, they just tip over sideways. That happens to me when I get scared.
You should walk through a house with us. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Like, legitimately, one time I was taking the trash out to the dumpster in the alley, and there was a raccoon in the dumpster, and I fell over and like scraped up the entire side of my arm. Like, that's just like, if a raccoon did that, I don't know what would happen if someone jumped out at me with a fake knife. But all that to say, like, I was looking at versions 1 and 2 and thinking maybe this might be a good year to try it. And looking at version 3, I'm not super convinced that this is the right time for that.
No, the closest I've got is probably Evil Dead. The Evil Dead on there is probably the one that would be like, that's probably be top of my list, but we'll see. Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of, with the originals, you never know.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, Dead Man's Wharf sounds cool. And El Chupacabra sounds cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, think about original houses that you've looked at and like, it's the Wicked Growth, Pumpkin, okay, and that house killed. You know.
Yeah.
So,
I was talking to our oldest yesterday, and we were talking about 25, and it's like, on paper, I would never have expected Body Collectors to be one, and he said that was his favourite house. It was a phenomenal house that year, to be fair. Yeah, but I say we'll get into it more in a couple of weeks because there's even scare zones on there, and the scare zones actually look more intriguing than the houses at this point.
Well, there's one that I still don't get.
Which one?
Weekend.
I'm still kind of hoping that's not real, but I mean, there's enough out there to suggest that it is.
I mean, the dude's tweeting himself.
Exactly.
I think it's pretty official.
Yeah, it's still strange how close, we're 10 weeks out?
Mm-hmm.
And yet they've still got pretty much everything to announce.
This is
tomorrow
normal.
They'll announce it. Don't worry.
We will get one on Thursday, I can guarantee you.
Probably.
Cool, right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's going to wrap it up. We've only got 2 houses at the moment, and neither of them are like ones I'm massively excited about, but yeah, I'll still go through. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the podcast. Of course, we are going to wrap up, as we always do, with the Universal Is, and I have invited Kelly, even though she's chastised me on social media today for not actually giving her an opportunity and saying that every time she's on the show, I say, oh, you can do it next time, and then never actually give her a next time.
That's true. I didn't publicly chastise him on social media. It was a message. Yes, I did not
next time
post that as a status.
No,
or
but
anything.
I did.
You have permission next time publicly shame him.
In the producer club, that's what most people do.
Yeah.
But of course, if you want to get involved, all you've got to do is let us know what you think Universal is in 3 words or less and send them to us at the same place you can send your bow pick of bow bows. And that is podcast@uuopodcast.com or any other way you can possibly message us. But for now, Kelly, it is over to you.
Universal is my geeky sanctuary.
See you next week, everyone.
That was another episode of the Unofficial Universal Orlando Podcast, the best and only podcast about Universal Orlando on the island. Check us out on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest. Just search UUO Podcast. For all the podcasts, news, and articles, check out our blog at UUOpodcast.com. Send us your questions, comments, and listener debate submissions to podcast@UUOpodcast.com. Join the Producers Club by emailing us at UUOPproducers@gmail.com. Listen and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Check out our friends, the Theme Park Duo, for all your other theme park news, and use our awesome sponsors, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company, to book your next trip. So until next time, this is Amity 6. Call off the Marines. We're coming home.